everybody for coming out to support me. Feels really great. My name is Karla Beigh Smith, and I never thought I would be standing here on this side of the podium. Like many of you, I really wasn't involved in politics until after the 2016 election. When the initial shock and grief wore off, I started looking for things to do. The first big thing I did was to go to the Women's March in Washington, D.C. Michael Moore told us all that we need to run for something, no matter how small it may seem. At the time, I thought, no way, not me. At least not until September 16th, just a few weeks ago. That day was a turning point for me. I was attending a legislative breakfast with Moms Demand Action in order to speak with legislators about gun safety. I was sitting there looking at these 5 white Republican men, and I couldn't help but feel that they were really only representing a small slice of central Illinois. When I looked up Keith Summers' voting record, I saw that he voted against the coal ash bill. He voted against raising teachers' salaries. He even voted against basic infrastructure improvements in Illinois. And I found out no one was running against him. My desire to run came from a place of disbelief and righteous anger. When your representative votes against everything you hold dear, what do? You hold them accountable. You do not allow them to run unopposed. You vote them out. I'm running against Keith Summer in the 88th District of the Illinois State House of Representatives. I grew up right here in the Midwest, from rural and small town Indiana to Moline, Illinois. I have my BFA from Illinois Wesleyan and my MFA from University of Illinois. After grad school, I spent the rest of the 1990s in New York, working as a union scenic artist, painting scenery for film, television, and Broadway. In 2000, I moved to London with my female partner, who was a UK citizen. The reason my partner and I moved to London was because she had not been able to get a green card. She had a job with a visa, but she was stuck in that job. She originally came here on a J1 visa, which she overstayed to be with me. In the mid-90s, no one was trying to lock up undocumented immigrants. Still, I know what it feels like to be afraid your loved one will be deported if caught. I know what it feels like to have no clear path to a green card for a family member. And I know what it feels like to have no legal validation for your relationship. I was a founding member of the Lesbian and Gay Immigration Rights Task Force in New York City. And I am dedicated to continuing to expand civil liberties of non-citizens and fighting discrimination against immigrants. Keith Summer voted against the Keep Families Together Act. He voted against prohibiting private prisons and detention centers in Illinois. And he voted against a gender non-binary option on state IDs. Fortunately, those bills passed without his help and were signed into law by our new governor. So we don't need to replace Keith Summer to get things done, but he clearly doesn't represent everyone in the 88th District. We do need to keep the momentum started by Jill Blair going. We need to do more to protect our communities. We must pass bold legislation such as the Clean Energy Jobs Act to fight against climate crisis and to provide good, sustainable jobs for the people of Illinois. After grad school, I was a union member and shop steward with United Scenic Artists. Never again have I had such advocacy for my wages, breaks, and safety, and I miss it. Let's make sure that working people get the protections and fair wages they deserve. We need to pass the fair tax for Illinois in 2020 so we can finally put Illinois on the path to a balanced budget. With the fair tax, 97% of Illinoisans will see no state income tax increases. The revenues gained from the 3% of residents who earn more than $250,000 will fund schools, healthcare services, and infrastructure. So if you feel the same way on these issues, I need you to get out there and talk to people. I need you to stay engaged. I need you to vote, and I need you to get your friends and neighbors to vote. I have no desire to try to outraise or outspend Keith Summer. I want this campaign to be people-powered. The money that we raise will go to campaign essentials, as you can see on our fundraising board. I know that many of you, like me, felt that fire light under you in 2016. You got off your sofa and out of your comfort zones to fight for your future and for your kids' future. Looking at the challenges we face, it can be hard to imagine a bright future, but we can and we must. Let's keep the momentum going. Take a look at our fundraising board and see how we're approaching this, and I brought some beer so we can have a short toast before we go to the cannabis task force meeting.